Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakorash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And I wanted to do a response to this video uploaded by the elder Manata Zakba. As you can see here, his page, GMS South Carolina 08. Subscribe and be edified. The title of the video is Understanding Revelation 21 and 24. All right, and this is a question that was asked on the comment board. As you can see the question, can you break down Revelation 21 and 24? All right, and the Baba Kasha, please, a shalom would be nice. You know, it would make sense if you're trying to get a question answered. All right, but nonetheless, we'll go into it as the elder did briefly in this video. I'll, Lord willing, edify on it as well. Let's get to it. And the reason that it is coming into question is because it says here in Revelation 21 and 24, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. All right, so anytime, you know, people see the word saved, nations, they get bugged out, which it's understandable why you would want to break down on it, you know, but we've spent, you know, countless videos breaking down who salvation was for, okay, and what salvation is. Again, salvation is the entering into the new covenant, the resurrection, when the Israelites will be brought back to their immortal state, okay, and no heathen will partake in that. All right, there will be no heathen that will be beamed up to the chariot. There will be no heathen that is changed. There will be no heathen, all right, that will be priest after the order of Malak Tazadak, all right, because the heathen will be taught by that priesthood, okay? No heathen will partake in that, okay? Now, as we'll show you, there will be heathen that are, all right, preserved for the purpose of, you know, because the heathen nations will be in the kingdom, all right? There will be heathen nations, all right, that won't be destroyed by the nuclear fire, all right, as we'll show you, all right? But when you deal with salvation and being saved, all right, that pertaineth to the Israelites, all right? Now, it says here, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. So we'll break into that, but let's first get the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, okay? 1 Corinthians 15, all right, the order of resurrection. The resurrection is the first fruit spirits, okay, the elect of the nation of Israel being brought back to their immortal estate, to where sin will no longer have dominion over us. We will be entered into the new covenant, as it says in the book of John, 1 John, the 3rd chapter, in the real quick, the 2nd verse. It says, beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. All right, and as it says in I believe that's Philippians 3 and 21, it talks about who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able to even subdue all things unto himself. And that's what Yahweh Shai is going to do when he returns. You know, he's going to beam the elect up, as the scriptures talks about, and we will be changed. Now let's go back to the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, okay, in the 20th verse, the order of resurrection. But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. All right, he's the first to raise from the dead. All right, ultimately, we know, you know, after 40 days and 40 nights, he returned back to the right-hand side of the Father, all right, to his original estate that he had with the Father from the beginning. And we now, all right, are fighting to get back to that original estate as well, so that we can come down on the earth and rule. And one of the purposes of rulership is teaching the heathen, and we'll get into that. And if the heathen were in the new covenant, they would not need to be taught. No Israelite will need to be taught, because all Israel, of course, the 2/3 are going to be destroyed. All Israel, the remnant, are going to be what? Resurrected. All right. For since by man came death, by man also came the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order. Yahweh Shai, the first fruits, that's Yahweh Shai and the 144,000. All right, the tabernacle of David being established. Afterward, they that are Yahweh Shai's at his coming. Okay, and then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even unto the Father. When he shall have put down all rule, authority, and power. And we know in Daniel it says, in the kingdom will not be left to other people. Let's get that real quick. Daniel, the 2nd chapter. And we'll tap into that in just a second. I just want to make these points. The book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. And the 44th verse. In the days of these kings, all right, the heathen rulers that have ruled and had their kingdoms, shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and shall consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. All right, we know the book of Joel 2, real quick. Joel 2 and 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. And how are we going to know, and the people going to know that he's in the midst of Israel? All right, by the new bodies that we receive, the great deliverance. All right, and that I am the Lord your God and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed, because we're never going to go off again. So going back to 1 Corinthians 15, what does the resurrection consist of? Let's get it. All right, 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. Now I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Meaning we can't go into those chariots with these bodies. We can't enter into the new covenant in these bodies. Okay. That's the reason for the new covenant, is to give us those new bodies so that we can be perfect. It says, neither can corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, all right, and he's going to gather his elect from the four corners of the earth. And the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. All right, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when these corruptible bodies shall put on incorruption, and new bodies, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Because the laws is going to be entered into our inward part. Okay, that's the new covenant. That's salvation. Hebrews 8. Okay, Hebrews 8 and 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write it in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be my people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from least to greatest. This is the fulfillment of salvation. Okay, so no heathen will have any part in that. All right, this is the purpose, all right, of us being delivered and given those new bodies, all right, after the priesthood of Melchizedek. Well, what are we going to do with the heathen? Micah 4 and 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established, and the top of the mountains it shall be exalted, and above the hills, and the people shall flow into it. And many nations shall come and say, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Okay, so when it comes to salvation, that's for the Israelites. all right, in the sense that we're going to receive the new bodies, the new covenant. No heathen will take part in that. The proof is we're not going to have to teach our own people, but we will teach the heathen. Now, when you go back to Revelation, the 21st chapter, okay, this whole chapter, as you go into it, is describing the tabernacle of God that is with men. Okay, the tabernacle, this is Revelation 21:3, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God, okay, New Jerusalem, is with men, and he will dwell with them just as he dwelled in physical tabernacles, physical temples in times past. He's going to fully dwell in his people by giving us the new covenant. All right, and we will, and the tabernacle of God is with men, the tabernacle of David, okay, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all their tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither no more sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. All right, the old way, these bodies. All right, now as the physical temple, all right, the spiritual temple, Salaki, is being described. Okay, New Jerusalem, Revelation 21:10, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain. What is that great and high mountain? Let's get the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. Okay, Revelation, the 7th chapter, and 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing. No. What I want is Revelation, the 14th chapter. Revelation 14:1. We only have so much time, so I'm rushing through it. Revelation 14:1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood up on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their forehead. And when you go to the different versions, it's the Father and the Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So the lamb and the 144,000 fulfilled the tabernacle of David. That's the governing body. All right. But as we just read, it's Yahushai, the first fruits, and afterward, they that are Yahushai that is coming, which is that large multitude. Now, when you go to Revelation 21, as this new holy Jerusalem, this tabernacle of God that is with men, is described, 12 gates, as you read that, with the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, the wall of the cities had 12 foundations, and in them, the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, as the 12 disciples will take their original seat. Yahushai told them, all right, ye who have followed me in the regeneration, he was talking to Peter, who asked, what's going to be our reward? Well, when I sit on my throne, you're also going to sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, meaning setting things in order. Okay, so you have the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, and as you keep reading, as this city is being measured, the holy city, New Jerusalem, verse 17 says, and the wall thereof 144 cubits, all right, according to the measure of a man, that is of the angel. That's the 144,000. Okay. Now, when you read Revelation, the 7th chapter, it's the 144,000, but also you have the large multitude, okay, which is going to be saved from all of the various different nations, tribes, and kindred, which these are Israelites who are scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Okay. So when you go here, when you jump down, it's describing New Jerusalem. All right. The tabernacle of God that's going to dwell with men, is describing them as all these various different stones and so forth. All right. But when you go to it, all right, in verse 23, it says, and the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, all right, to shine in it. All right, for the glory of God did lighten it. That doesn't mean the sun and the moon ain't going to be there. That's just going to mean that ultimately the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is going to be in us. We're going to shine. Okay, we're going to be ultimately a light ourselves, man. Okay. And it says, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. Okay. Which, what did he say? I'm going to give unto you the day star. He's going to put the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward part. Okay. It says, in the nations, because the sun and the moon is symbolic of knowledge and wisdom as well, because they're perfect in their order. Okay, they're obedient, all right, to their course. Okay, well, the ultimately we're going to be obedient to what the Heavenly Father has called us to be, because he's going to put it in us to be obedient. And the nations, all right, of them which are saved. Now, this word nations, we've been going into the etymology of the word Gentile. It's the same word. Okay, the nations is the ethnos, the ethnicity, all right, which the ethnicity that's synonymous with salvation is the Israelites, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or gene, okay? In the Old Testament, of foreign nations not worshiping the true God, pagans, which ultimately they turn from those idols, and ultimately the Lord cleansed them, the Gentiles, right? So going back, let's get the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter, okay? Because you have what? The 144,000, okay? Which is the 12,000 out of each tribe, all right? But also after this, I beheld, and lo, verse 9, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues. This word kindreds lets you know who these people are. Okay, this great multitude. Again, why would the Lord only save just 144,000 Israelites? But when it comes to the heathen, okay, he's going to save a large multitude, all right, and bring them out of tribulation. But his own people, just 144,000. That doesn't make sense. Okay, these are the nations that are going to be saved in the sense of salvation. Now, as we're going to show you, there are going to be heathen that are left. Okay, of all nation, and we always go into this, so you should know what this word is. Phule or Phula. In the New Testament, all of the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, which fulfills what was told to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's get Genesis, the 13th chapter, real quick. Genesis 13 and 16. What did the Lord tell Abraham? And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, so also shall thy seed be. Okay, and the remnant consists of the large multitude, but before that you have the 144,000. Okay, Genesis 16 and 10. What was told to Sarah, all right, concerning the seed that was going to be put in her, all right, which was going to be Isaac, that was going to lead to Isaac. Genesis 16 and 10, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed, which is Isaac, exceedingly, all right, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. You see, Genesis 32, okay, Genesis 32, okay, and 12, this is what Jacob said to the Lord. Look, you promised, Genesis 32 and 12, and thou saidest, I will surely do thee good and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. All right, and what is the Lord going to do? He's going to gather that seed, all right, from the south. Let's see if we can find it. I think it's Isaiah 43, the scripture I'm thinking of in my head. 1 second. Isaiah 43 and 6, 5. Fear not, for I am with thee, for I will bring thy seed from the east and gather them from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far, and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory, and formed him, I have made him. All right, so the Lord is going to come through on his promise that he gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, that I'm going to gather your seed, although they will be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I'm going to bring them, all right, from the ends of the earth, all right, back to the Heavenly Father through Yahushai's blood and sacrifice. So the nations that are saved, when you get Revelation 21, is the Israelites. The nations of them which are saved are going to be the Israelites. Now, when you look at the understanding of this word saved, okay, it's sozo, to keep, all right, safe and sound, to save, to rescue from danger and destruction, okay, to save a suffering one suffering from disease, to make well, to heal, to restore health, to preserve one who is in danger, to save and rescue. Now, when we go into the prophecies, all right, there are going to be actual physical heathen that are left after the destruction. Zechariah 14, all right, after that great destruction in 16, it shall come to pass, this is prophecy, that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem. Let's look at this word left. Everyone that is left. Okay? This is not the same as actual salvation, but there will be heathen that won't suffer the nuclear destruction. But what will happen to those heathen? It says, Yathar, to leave, to remain. So there are going to be heathen that's going to remain, to be left behind. Okay? Just at the time of Solomon, you had the heathen who David beat down. There was still remnants of them who were left around. But what happened unto them? Solomon put their asses into hardcore. He put them into captivity. Okay? Zechariah 14 and 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall go up even from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So they're going to be taught the laws. Okay? We're going to teach them, and they're going to have to follow our ways, our holy days. Just like here, they shove Christmas and Halloween and Valentine's Day and Easter down your throat. Well, we're going to shove the new Passover, the Feast of Tabernacles, and things like that down their throat. Hanukkah, all of these things are going to be celebrated in the kingdom, but the heathen are going to have to be taught these things. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth, all right, in the NLT, any nation that refuses. So this shows you the heathen won't be in the new covenant. They're going to have to be taught. They're going to still be in the flesh. We're going to have the bodies that are programmed to do right, but the heathen are still going to suffer with going off sin. They'll be better off under us, especially after the 1,000 years where they'll know clearly what we want. They'll be healthier. They'll be better off. They'll be breathing clean air, eating non-GMO foods. They will never be on the level of the Israelites, but walking in our ways will, all right, be a blessing to them. However, if they don't, when they don't, all right, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even unto them there shall be no rain. Meaning we'll be able to bring a plague on their ass in the kingdom. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen, okay, that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So if the heathen can be in the new covenant, why is this foretold as what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven? This shall be the punishment, all right, of Egypt, all right, the Egyptians, which are Hamites, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, showing you just like if you don't stop at a stop sign, if you get caught speeding here in their kingdom, you get pulled over, you get a ticket. Well, in the kingdom of heaven, you will be penalized for not keeping the laws. This is just a foreshadowing of what's to come. Okay? So the heathen won't be saved in the same sense as the Israelites, but there will be heathen that are left behind. As we just read, okay? Because this whole chapter is talking about a great plague that's coming, a fire, right? But there are going to be nations that are left. Okay, that are going to be preserved. That's not the same salvation as the Israelites. Revelation 2, okay, in 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. This truth, this understanding we've been given through the Holy Spirit. All right, you got to stick to it, even through the tribulations and everything. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works to the end, to him will I give power over the nations, authority over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father, and I will give him the morning star, meaning he's going to put the light in us. That new covenant. Okay, the word Aaron, who was the high priest in that first covenant, it means light. Well, the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is going to put the light in us. The law, statutes, and commandments, the ways of righteousness is going to be put in the Israelites. But one of the focal points of the authority that's going to be given, that he's going to share, is authority over the nations. And if they go off, we're going to rule over them with a rod of iron. Okay? Meaning they're going to be judged. And clearly there is a judgment written to the heathen, all right, that is already, there's no way you can get around it. Psalms 149, the punishments and the judgment written. So the heathen won't have salvation in the form of being beamed up, changed, turned into the following and walking after the priest of the order of Melchizedek, because they're going to have to be taught. That is reserved for Israel only. We're going to be the priest of the Most High. And what are you going to do? Administer the law to the heathen. They're going to have to be taught. Okay? So Revelation 21 and 24, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor unto it. And the kings of the earth, what are they going to do? Let's get Tobit 13 and 11. Many nations shall come from far to the name of the Lord, with gifts in their hands, even gifts to the King of heaven. All generations shall praise thee with great joy. Okay, let's get the book of Isaiah. So that the kings of the earth, as we know, what's going to happen to them? They're going to be put into captivity. Right? Isaiah, the 24th chapter. Isaiah 24 and 21, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Okay, so the kings of the earth are going to be taken down, starting with the Edomites. After the 1,000-year period, the Edomites will be destroyed, but the rest of the heathen will be able to go back to their lands, and as long as they follow our ways, they'll be blessed. But when they go off, they'll be judged. But they're going to have to pay their tribute. They're going to have to bring gifts up. They're going to have to follow our holy days. Okay? But it's going to start out with a great judgment. So ain't no heathen going to be saved, man. Okay? In the form of being brought into the new covenant. That's for the Israelites. Okay? Get that through your heads. Stop getting, so you got to be rooted, man. You got to be rooted in the understanding of what's written in the Bible as to foretelling our kingdom. Stop trying to give our kingdom to other heathen. It ain't supposed to be like that. Their kingdoms was for them. All right. Our kingdom is for us. They had their kingdoms already. It's like Jake just is a hard on to save everybody when your ass ain't even saved yet. Not to say the brother who asked that question is fighting with that, but I'm pretty sure when he saw it, he wants to save the heathen. Jake wants to save the heathen. Not saying he wants to save the heathen, but he got all messed up. But we already know what's written in the scriptures. We go through it all the time. So when you see something that's in the form of the nations being saved and go and teach all nations, who was scattered amongst the nations? The Israelites. The Israelites are going to be gathered out of all of the different nations, whether they be scattered, and the Lord is going to put them into the new covenant. The elect, the remnant, the 144 and the large multitude make up the 1/3. Okay? That's the whole elect. Okay? Now, when you read Zechariah, the 13th chapter, okay, the third part that's going to be left there, that's here in America. But ultimately, elect, okay, make up the 144,000 and a large multitude make up the 1/3. Okay? But it starts with the 144,000, man. Okay, the remnant, the preserved. Okay, because though Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be preserved. Let's get Isaiah the 14th chapter. We roll out. Isaiah the 14th chapter in the first verse. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, okay, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the order of that is the 144,000. And then what? and strangers shall be joined unto them. Those strangers that and cleave to the house of Jacob, those are the large multitude, man. Okay, they're going to be brought too. They have their inheritance as well under the 144,000. That's the order of resurrection. Okay? When we return back to the land, it's for the purpose of parting inheritance amongst the 12 tribes, setting up the government, and then eventually ruling the whole entire planet Earth. But we first have to return to the garden eastward in Eden. Okay? The strangers that are going to cleave to the house of Jacob, the house of David, the tabernacle of David, the 144, are the large multitude that are going to be gathered, and that's through mercy. That's through mercy. They're going to they're preserved and already chosen from the foundation of the earth to be saved. Okay? And it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, the heathen nations, in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives there were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. There you go. Okay? So that should give you an understanding. Okay? The heathen nations will not receive the same salvation as the Israelites, man. All right? And all of the heathen, once it's all said and done, they're going to be forced to pay tribute, keep our ways, and ultimately acknowledge us as the children of the Most High, man. The seed blessed of the Most High, man. Let's get that real quick. Isaiah 61:9, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahweh hath blessed. All right? Point blank, period. Okay? We're going to be acknowledged as the seed which the Lord blessed, man. It's going to be a clear difference, man. Okay? Verse 6, but ye shall be named priests of the Lord. Men shall call you ministers of the Lord. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall you boast themselves. So all of those riches y'all got stored up, that's all being transferred to the Israelites. Verse 5, and strangers shall feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and vine dressers. Okay? What is a plowman? Ikar, plowman, husbandman, farmer, working the land, yet not owning any of it. So none of the heathen are going to own any of the land. Okay, the inheritance is going to be parted amongst the 12 tribes. The earth will be Yahweh Shai, and he's going to be the elect are going to be joint heirs with him, man. Okay, no heathen will partake in our blessing, but they will be blessed. They will be healed, as the scriptures say. All right, this gospel, this doctrine, flowing throughout the four corners of the earth, man. It's going to be for the healing of the nation. So yes, the nations will. That's not enough for Jake. The heathen being healed, being better off than they are here, being given a doctrine and a way to follow that, the law, statutes, commandments that's going to lead to them being better off than that. That's not enough for Jake. Jake wants the heathen to be on the chariot. Jake wants the heathen to be priests after the order of Melchizedek and teach their own people. No. Absolutely the F not. All right? More to come. Hopefully I'll edify. Shalom.